I'll do the deal with you only if you wear green. And you're like, I'm not wearing green. You say, oh, sorry, it's not going to work out.
It's complete chaos in Canada. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. Today we've got Donald Trump amping things up once again with this Lake Ontario thing. We've got more people coming after Poilievre and his position as being the leader of the Conservatives. We've also got complete chaos in British Columbia here. Let's jump into this. Starting this episode off from CBC, we've got New Brunswick deficit jumps to almost 1.7 billion. So Liberal Susan Holt, who just got into power not too long ago, already running massive deficits here, says increased spending on health and social development drives shortfall of $265 million. Careful who you vote for, New Brunswick. We got this one here. Salma Zahid, a Liberal from Don Valley East, had both of her cars torched last night. New photo shows suspected arson at residence of the Canadian MP. She stated an individual set her car and another vehicle on fire overnight. Apparently her son saw it and, well, you can see they're torched. Moving ahead, we've got failed former Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney, attacking Conservative creators with this post. The red carpet treatment for MAGA North Alberta separatist influencers at the CPC headquarters convention was a huge mistake, as I pointed out to CPC staff all the time. This guy's so butthurt that Albertans tossed his butt out. He used to be the Premier of Alberta and Albertans got rid of him. He thinks he can come in now and become the leader of the Conservative Party. It's not happening. So you can see here he's attacking Jasmine Lane. They all attack Jasmine Lane. It's quite deplorable what they're doing. He complains about creators getting passes to the event and all this stuff. If the Conservative Party is to win the future election, it must clearly distance itself from these toxic anger merchants. I'll just tell you right now, this coalition here is Corey Tenek, it's Jason Kenney, it's this guy here, this Canadian writer Spencer Fernando, it's Harrison Faulkner, it's Anthony Koch, it's Nick Kouvalis, but Corey Tenek is the head of this. And moving ahead, we've got Melissa Landsman posting this one. Ottawa removes seafood and fish products from counter tariff list. This is a good win because obviously these businesses would get slammed and probably go bankrupt if they didn't do this. As 2 days, that's how long it took Carney government to start walking back counter tariffs they hadn't thought through in the first place. Bring back Parliament. Yeah, that's not happening. We've got this one here. I mean, this is just a clown show. The White House posting this. Lake Ontario is now renamed Lake America. Like, are you serious? Unfortunately, yes, Donald Trump is letting his emotions being manipulated by the Liberals. It's embarrassing to watch.
The purpose of this, more than anything else, is we're going to be changing the name of Lake Ontario, effective immediately, to Lake America. That's going to take place right now as I sign the order. Do you have anything to say about it, Ben?
Yes, sir. So this is a straightforward but important executive order. It directs Secretary Burga.
Like, seriously, not even Republicans in America are going to take you guys serious with this crap. Like, get real. Like, I get that he wants to stick it to Doug Ford, but this is an embarrassing feud to watch.
And the Department of the Interior to update the Geographic Names Information Service to reflect that Lake once known as Lake Ontario will from this day forward be known as Lake America.
Okay, so they just go on to babble here. Trump signs the order. This is just proving what Trump's biggest weakness is get under his skin, get his emotions going, and if that's in favor of the person doing it, such as in this case Mark Carney, then it works to your benefit.
Necessary papers, documents, everything else. We notified all of the...
Like, they don't even realize how badly they're being used by the Liberals here. Look at the polls. This is so unbelievably reactionary. Like Epstein. I mean, this fires both directions, north and south of the border, really. You know, I'd say it's one thing if he threatened this and, you know, kind of stick it to Ford, but to actually go forward and sign an executive order, like, this is so embarrassing. I mean, look at the polling data. This coming from Abacus data, you can see this is Trudeau versus Carney government's net approval. You can see Carney is this red line here. Justin Trudeau is this red line here. I mean, look what's happened here. Flare up Donald Trump, boom. Carney goes back up in the polls. Is the Trump administration not paying attention to this? They're being used. Now we've got Howard Lutnick here on CTV, the same CTV that did a copyright claim on one of my videos this morning. Thanks for that, guys. Calling out the Carney administration. Like, this is what they should be doing. Then people take them serious when they bring up this kind of stuff based in fact and reason, not just renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America for a grudge feud.
Worked at Goldman Sachs way back when, let alone when he was at the Bank of England. So I've known him a long time. So it's easy for me to communicate with him, right? Canada has the best trade deal in the world.
So he's talking about Mark Carney working at Goldman Sachs. He worked there with his good buddy, Tim Hodgson, his right-hand man here, the energy minister. And apparently, I didn't know this, but Howard Lutnick as well.
Before we started, we negotiated, and Canada was going to have the best trade deal in the world. And what happened was that Canada walked away. We had a deal. We shook hands. The president announced it, right? Everybody was positive. Canada made the decision for political purposes. They wanted to walk away. This is politics only. If you think I ever said the words French. Do I care about how the Quebecois speak? I mean, what could matter less to America? We don't care. So the fact is,
That's exactly what I said. What do they care? They don't care if what languages are spoke. It's straight numbers in business.
never brought those words up. This is manufactured, and that's why the president put out a truth saying it was a complete lie, right? It was manufactured. So there's the Sovereignty Party trying to run, and they're in the lead in Quebec. And so this was Mark Carney manufacturing something that would try to keep them from winning. And then you have Alberta has an independence resolution. These are elections in October. So he's making this a political thing for Canada. And my guess will be, as soon as his elections are over, you're going to see a plane full of Canadian negotiators flying down and go, come on, we'll give it to you before your election. We're just being used by them, right? That's what happened.
Wow, he just said it. They're being used. Yes, you are. Now tell your boss to stop playing into it. That Lake America stuff, he just needs to squash that right now. It's embarrassing.
That's why it ended. It didn't happen for math. The math was sensational. It was a great deal that we shook hands on.
They said that you did not want to extend the tariff relief to medium and heavy-duty trucks. Was that
Well, the words medium and heavy-duty trucks were raised in these trade negotiations at Friday at 4 o'clock. Never. Like I just said, I met with LeBlanc 10 times. I spoke to Carney twice. These were not raised. These were not part of it. This is a different thing. This is medium and heavy trucks. This isn't what you and I drive. This is on like an F450. You go, I know what an F-150 Ford is. What's an F-450? Oh, it has 2 wheels on the back. And you're like, well, who sees those? Like, what is that? That's a construction product. It's a whole different category. It was never raised. These were things they put in order to make it end. You know, when someone doesn't want the deal.
I 100% believe him here. And I'll just say, honestly, I find this guy to be pretty slimy and greasy. I think Jameson Greer is a rock star over in the Trump administration. Same with Marco Rubio. But Letnick, I'm not a fan of. I think he's 100% truthful here.
They make up and say, oh, I'll do the deal with you only if you wear green. And you're like, but I'm not wearing green. You say, oh, sorry, it's not going to work out. It was nonsense.
Yeah, they brought up something they knew would axe the deal so they could flare themselves up in the polls and use Donald Trump. And they knew Donald Trump would get angry over it and then start this nonsense of Lake America. Like they knew how to manipulate Donald Trump and he's playing right into it. I can't believe the American administration is allowing that to happen. They see what's happening. I mean, he just admitted they're being used. Well, it's time to push back. Why don't they come out with pointing out Mark Carney's Brookfield Global Transition Fund 1 and how Carney's milking Canada to get rich? Just stick it to the guy. If they took what I've put on here and just blasted out on Trump's account, Carney would be screwed. Now, I thought this was interesting. Marty up north posting this, just a comparison of the TSX in Canada this year up 30%, 29.5, and in America, Dow Jones up 17%. It's almost like, as he said, the investors don't care. Like there's no trade war going on. Now we've got Danielle Smith, being the adult in the room here, posting this, saying Alberta's on track for its 6th consecutive surplus, and the Heritage Fund is on pace to hit $35 billion in 2027. What if we had this across Canada? What if we had a prime minister doing this? Now moving over to British Columbia politics, we got a bunch of stuff. Carrie Lynn Finley came out with a video last week, which had a great message, and her numbers in the polls were going up. And then what's happened? A handful of MLAs have resigned, and it's one after the other for the past couple of days. I believe there's 5 right now that have resigned. And these are people that are far left. They voted in favor of giving over land to First Nations. These are not conservatives. This is house cleaning. This is good for the Conservative Party of BC. But now there's just all these slanderous attacks. You've got accounts on X here, one called the Finley Files, putting out slanderous crap that they probably should be getting sued for. Now, one good thing out of everything, we've got Bob Mackin posting this here. Elections BC approves Conservative MLA Harman Bangu's initiative petition to repeal DRIPA. So this is a very good thing, to repeal DRIPA. This is not going to happen, though, really, until the Conservatives get into power and get the NDP out. Now, mainstream media attacking Carrie Lynn Finley, never seeing anything like it. BC Conservative exodus continues. The problem is the party's made up with half Liberals and half Conservatives, and some of them are pretty far left Liberals. Like, they're basically NDP. It's no surprise that some of these people are leaving. Peter Millibar and all these people, like, they're not Conservatives. When you got a guy like Brennan Day, this guy guy just resigned yesterday. Like, this is a good thing. I've been wanting to slam on this guy for a while, but because he was a part of the BC Conservative Party, I've left it alone. Well, he's no longer. Comox Nation is kicking out over 100 people off this land. I showed this story a while ago. There's over 100 people live in the Queenish Mobile Park. A lot of these people have been here for 34 years. They're kicking Canadians off this land so First Nations can live on that land, despite them having another plot of land very close by that's empty. Brennan Day voted in favor of giving the Comox Nation taxpayers' land. People that are resigning, they don't have conservative values. They might as well just go join the NDP. Like, this is a good thing. This is a good deep house cleaning. Get rid of all the crap in the Conservative Party. Moving ahead, quite the story here. The BC government ends public access to directory in place since 1930s. This is outrageous. They're basically making it so you can't contact any government official because it's not public anymore. Shutting access to its online government directory, leaving taxpayers in the dark about who works for the provincial government and the basic organizational structure of the government. The move will end a service that the government has provided for decades based on what it says is a risk of cybersecurity attacks combined with privacy concerns for civil servants. This is ridiculous. This government has to go. It cannot go fast enough.
In today's shrinking media ecosystem, the province maintains a robust communications arm. In fact, according to the government's online directory, the number of communications people funded by the taxpayer to push the government line is 152. That's 152 public affairs officers, communications managers, and directors. And these are just the folks working directly for the BC government ministries. It does not include the PR people working for the Crown Corps, health authorities, or even the Premier's office. 152 comm staff.
Yeah, so the core government, the public service that you're talking about, we've actually reduced the size of that group by about 2,000 people over the last year. We've had a hiring freeze in place. We're going to continue to drive down those numbers.
Here's a look at government PR budgets over time. Spending skyrocketed under the BC Liberals in the 2000s. And while the NDP has cut back, critics say not enough.
Look at this, talking about the numbers coming down, what, from 30 to 29 million? This is a complete joke. That we need a conservative government in British Columbia. These guys are running the province into the ground.
Government Communications and Public Engagement, or GCPE, also handles advertising and social media. A statement from the Finance Ministry reads, the organization includes approximately 300 staff, and their responsibilities go far beyond media relations.
Of all the departments in the BC government, this is one where they can afford to cut for the sake of the taxpayers. But for the politicians, communications is usually one of the last places they like to cut, because this is what helps them fashion their message.
A message that's often late. In the case of this story, more than an hour past our original deadline.
What a waste of money. 152 people to push out their message just in British Columbia.
There's Hatley Castle and Royal Roads University campus, waterfront in Victoria, property next to the legislature, Discovery Island Provincial Park, and Souk Mountain Provincial Park. In total, about 334,000 acres of Crown land may be transferred.
Right now, there's a great deal of uncertainty about property rights in this province and in this country.
We don't want to be giving up this property. We have no intentions of selling this property.
The NDP must immediately halt all land transfers.
Yeah, they're giving away everything. David Eby's a Trojan horse. He's not acting in Canada or British Columbia's best interest. He's acting in First Nations' best interest. He should apply to be a chief of a First Nation band. And what's going to happen? China's going to come in and do deals with these First Nations, get access to critical minerals, and have a staging ground, potentially build ports and have infrastructure that they can use against the Americans, and have places they can spy on America, on Canada, from within Canada. They're going to lock in a lot of First Nation critical mineral deals, preventing Americans from signing up and getting those deals. David Eby's a Trojan horse.